Hey, Anthony, what's up, man? It's Chad Prather. I heard about your new book about 9 boys that decided to play basketball as girls in the girls' league called Transgender Hoops. Identify as a female. I know it's funny, man. I hear that it sold out a few times on Amazon. Might be on Netflix pretty soon. So God bless you, pal. Keep up the good fight, hanging in there, and keep making people laugh. I appreciate you. There you go, man. Take care of yourself.
Oh, it's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. How do you feel?
Tell us a little bit, just a little bit, no spoilers too many here, about the book.
Okay. Well, it's so hard to avoid getting into it, but here's how it goes. The story's about 9 guys, high school boys, that are basically get put in a bad situation by abusive coaches. And I know you've got a kid that plays hockey, so if you've either had at some point in your life a bad coach or you've seen them in action on other teams, and us as parents, it's so hurtful and it makes you so angry. So you get to see what happens, and that's kind of what sparks this whole story. It was written really as a fictional sports novel to get your interest into it, and that's what happens in the story. That's what sparks it. These poor boys have no chance of going to college. They had these great college dreams of playing sports and earning a scholarship. Without that scholarship, they have no chance of going to college. So in rolls into the story two gentlemen that kind of transform and changed these young men's lives, not in a good way for them, but not in a good way for the rest of the world. And what happens is they find a loophole in the system. And we all know what that loophole is. It's that blind political correctness that enables you to, in 1 second, be able to say, I choose to identify as a female, and now I'm allowed to play in women's sports. I'm allowed to play against girls the next day without taking any hormones, without doing any kind of surgeries, without seeing anyone. You just selectively do it. And that's what sparks the story. These 9 boys have an event that pulls them together from 4 different high schools here in Cincinnati. I won't mess that up. You got to read it to get it. But and they move on and they have great success, and they use, as bad as it is, they end up using that political correctness and that identifying as female as like a force field for them. They're untouchable because everybody knows that the PC sledgehammer will come down on you hard if you buck up against them. So they take advantage of that. Story goes on, and you're really going to have to read it. But the end of the story is that point to where realization hits, and that gut check. And it'll be that gut check for every reader that reads the book about, what have I done? Basically, in the process of doing this to help 9 boys, I've burned Title IX to the ground. I've destroyed women's sports. That's over. So that's kind of, I guess, the little spoiler alert part. That's kind of short version.
Reality.
Yeah.
Reality. We have almost half the states now letting children do this, identify. Well, that leads us to my next question. Answers a little bit of it. Why? Why now? Why did you write this book?
Oh, the good question. I started to see the different stories on TV, and the young lady that's right behind you on the wall was one of those that sparked. Yeah, Selena, and that's my littlest name is also Selena with a C instead of an S. But I saw the story that what happened to her, and just being a coach and a trainer and just being around girls my whole life, I was crushed. I mean, it really. hurt me to my core, because I know I've seen things happen to kids that are out of their control. And that's what this was. You know, she got something taken away from her. She'd worked for her whole life, and it really hurt. And that really sparked me to get thinking about this whole subject. And then I ended up discovering your site. And then it kind of sent me on this avenue of seeing all of these males that were competing against females. And it was like, this isn't okay. I'm a nice person, but this just doesn't work. And that's kind of the thing that geared me towards making this, writing this story. It's what sparked me, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it's really unfair what these young girls have had to go through. And
Yeah.
for those that aren't aware, that is Selena Sewell there. She is the first athlete to really step up in the United States, and she's a high school athlete who in Connecticut has had to race against transgender boys in track and field and has lost out many opportunities because of that. She's lucky to be joined now by a few other athletes in a Title IX complaint against the Department of Education. So luckily the Alliance Defending Freedom is helping them with that. And thankfully we have people like you helping us raise awareness of it.